Welcome to Lovin' the Loveboat, a fond and funny look back on the world's greatest cruise ship-based television show. I'm Ishvan, singer, songwriter, and TV fanatic.
And I'm Michelle, pop culture enthusiast.
Join us as we relive episodes of one of the most watched TV series of all time.
Occasionally deviating to pop culture charts unknown.
So come aboard, we're expecting you for another edition of
Lovin' the Loveboat.
Hi, you guys. We are back.
We are.
Back on a marooned island.
Gonna wrap up this two-parter.
Can an island be marooned? I don't know. Whatever. We are back, for the second half of the season 2 big opener.
Well, it's this time around, it's just the two of us.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What happened?
Well, Stephen P. Slivka, who dazzled us with part 1 of the podcast for season 2, decided to stay on the island with David P. Carruthers.
Oh, no.
He liked the hermit's life. And
he finally did it.
He did it.
He's been threatening to leave society for such a long time, and he finally did it.
Yeah, so he liked that idea, and
good for him.
There he is. So unfortunately, he will not be joining us for part 2.
But we do have a guest.
We do.
In the form of one of our amazing GoFundMe patrons and listeners of the show. We have the wonderful Stacy. And she will, at some point, I don't know if she's on an island right now. She may be, but I think she will be sending some hot takes maybe, on this episode. But before we dig in, you guys, we've already covered our stars. Hopefully you guys have heard the previous show, so we don't have to cover that. We know who wrote the storylines. One of the things from the last episode that I just quickly wanted to talk about, there was the mention of Ernie Kovacs.
Correct.
And I had no idea. I'd heard the name, but I didn't know who he was.
Husband of Edie Adams.
I looked him up. Now, I did not go super deep into this, but I saw some clips, and I was kind of blown away, like in a good way, where I thought this guy was really innovative, and I saw some of the things that he was doing with the medium of television, and I thought it was like way ahead of its time, at least the couple of things that I saw. And then what made me the most proud, Michelle?
What?
He's Hungarian.
Oh, not a surprise.
That's, if anyone was wondering, Istvan is a Hungarian name. That is half of my ethnicity, and he was a Hungarian guy, and I had no idea. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into Ernie Kovac. But he was not on the island.
No, he was probably gambling somewhere.
Oh, gosh.
No, I think by that point, I think he had already passed.
Let's not go into death so fast, please. All right, let's steer clear of that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I can't remember where we left off, quite honestly. We were on the island.
Where I believe we left off is still the crew being held captive by the hermit.
David P. Carruthers.
David P. Carruthers was still holding them captive with just like a stick in the door. And then the ship, I believe, they were just kind of like heading out to sea because they were trying to outrun the hurricane.
Oh, so they finally, like the refresher course captain listened to Isaac?
Well, yeah, and they tried to take credit for it, but yes, he listened to Isaac, who's shining on this episode, taking control of the ship. And
yeah, it's a little confusing coming from the... Wait, hang on. Are we getting a message? Wait, I think this is our guest. I do believe it is. Hang on.
Hi, this is Stacy, big fan of Lovin' the Loveboat podcast. I'm here with some thoughts about the first episode of season 2. I do have a love-hate relationship with this episode in that I love the fact that Isaac gets to be even more awesome than he usually is. But I really, really hate the Marooned Islands plotline, mainly because most of the characters just don't make sense to me. On to the Isaac's holiday. I love that Isaac kind of catches on to the fact that Captain Cunningham is a bit of an idiot. And, okay, not a bit of an idiot. He is just a big idiot. And figures out kind of how to get him to do the things that he needs to be doing. This did leave me, though, with one big burning question. Is this normal hurricane protocol to keep eating in the dining room while everything is sliding about? Seems just a tad odd, and if I were a passenger, I probably would have headed to my room ages ago.
As Stacy said, Isaac does shine in this episode, taking control basically of every aspect of the Pacific Princess. Later, when they hit some turbulent waters trying to outrun the hurricane, he really takes control.
Mr. Cunningham, we're really getting it now. Get on the stick, do something.
Does marinara stain, Dak Run, and Cotton polyester?
Chuck, get word to the rest of the crew. Batten everything down. Close all the bars. Close the Acapulco Lounge and the casino. Drain the pool. Secure everything that moves. Hey, forget about him. Do as I tell you to do, or let's choose sides for water polo. Listen, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Isaac Washington, and I'm the chief bartender of this ship. I don't know if any of you noticed, but we seem to run into a bit of bad weather. Well, actually, it's more than a bit, but less than a bunch. Okay? So everybody, come on, nice and easy. Back to your cabins. Let's go, all right? Mr. Cunningham, a little bleach, and it'll be as good as new.
Michelle, is marinara sauce really, I would think it is difficult to get out of your clothing.
Probably. I mean...
But not enough to cause you to become catatonic, correct?
Right. And as Stacy pointed out, why are they still...
Just
Why
eating?
are they still eating casually when everything is spilling and the ship
the food
is like
is so
turning
good
all over the place?
You've commented on the food looking divine, and maybe they're just like they've never had a meal that good, and they're risking their lives to.
I like watching the chefs the waiters trying to
Balance.
I was like trying to think like how did they film that? Was
See,
it like
again.
Was it a set that was like tilting or?
I don't know. I don't think so. But this is the stuff I would have done as a kid. All of us, it would have been me and my cousins pretending we're falling on the ship. All of it would have been something that we would have been pretending to do. But yes, Isaac has completely taken charge. And then again, we must remember that he was on the outs with Mara. Because he had sort of fabricated who he was as a person, but then she was seeing who he was as a man.
She does. She does see him really taking control.
Yeah.
Just the head bartender.
Yes. Pretty fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
See, quite honestly, I'm confused at this point. It is a blur to me because I had thought that Gopher had already been injured.
No, because it starts with now. Like this is what I have. Did you notice? Like before anything even started, they did like the classic, like the lightning and the clouds for the opening scene.
Yeah, I think so.
It was just like lightning to set the tone that things are getting hairy and scary.
And like Wizard of Oz music going on.
It was kind of like reminiscent of like Wizard of Oz or I was thinking the beginning of the Munsters. And then we're on the island and things are picking up. And I believe then the Stephen
P. Slivka shows up.
David P. Carruthers. I think they hear a crash and they're like, oh, it's the roof. So, yeah, let's send somebody out there to see what happens in the middle of a hurricane.
I like this part.
They sent Gopher out there.
He didn't want to go.
Shouldn't you just stay sheltered?
No.
I mean, nothing came crashing into the hut.
No, you send a guinea pig Gopher out.
And then a giant palm tree falls on him.
What's that? Sounds like a hunk of the roof just blew off. I think you're right. Check it out, Mr. Smith. Check it out? Outside in the hurricane?
Gopher, not going to melt.
Well, why don't we draw straws or something?
Gopher, for heaven's sake.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Guys, I'm sorry if I'm going to keep beating this drum, but again, this is what I would have pretended to do as a child. Like a big tree would have fallen on me. There is no greater scenario than being injured and unconscious that I loved playing as a child. And then you could go run to your bathroom or wherever and get a washcloth and put it on your head and have everybody be concerned for your well-being. And that's exactly what Fred Grandy plays flawlessly.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to point out too that why do I keep doing that? David Carruthers he lifts up the palm tree all by himself.
Dude, did you ever see the what was it, Incredible Hulk? Because that was another famous episode where people got superhuman strength when they were under terrible stress.
Yes.
And the woman said,
I was lifting up the car. It started to move real slowly, but I kept lifting and lifting. I don't know where I got the strength.
I remember that. I often wonder if I would be able to lift up a car in a situation like that. Would I have superhuman strength?
I don't know. Hopefully you'll never have to be tested,
either,
you know? But that is exactly what happened. Stephen P. Carruthers lifted that fake palm tree right off of Gopher.
And then they didn't really check for injuries, and they dragged him right into the hut. 'Cause then I was thinking, what if he broke ribs or something? And then
I guess the danger of being out in the hurricane outweighed
absolutely
the danger of moving.
He got a pretty quick diagnosis from Doc, though.
He's not going to die, Julie. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, he did. Yet Kiki still kind of being a pain.
Miss Watwood, you're so quiet here. Are you all right?
Sure, I'm terrific. I was just thinking of sending some postcards to my enemies. Having a wonderful time, wish you were here.
Oh, I'm sure you don't have any enemies.
How about just leaving me alone? All right?
All right.
Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself just long enough to think about somebody else?
Well, Gopher's unconscious, speaking different languages, right? Isn't he speaking all kinds of languages into different women?
Yeah, it's weird. Like his head trauma has caused him to, know French, I think, and Italian, or just sometimes be speaking in a Maurice Chevalier accent. I don't know.
It's really another Emmy-winning performance.
He was good.
Him and Isaac were really top notch in this episode.
They got to really stand out. But wait, what were you going to say?
Well, there's so many other weird scenarios going on, which makes sense why Stacy would not like it. Like the Edie Adams and her husband,
Avery Schriber, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, she hates him. She just hates him.
Yeah,
she can't stand him. She can't look at him. He's not a real man. And then
wait, she'd rather die in a hurricane than go back to her boring life.
Don't worry, Flubber. We'll get out of this, okay?
Oh, who cares?
What do you mean?
I mean, who cares? What does it matter if the hurricane kills me overnight? Or I go back to the life I have? A slow, boring death, day by day.
You really hate me that much?
I don't hate you. Like I said, I just don't care anymore.
We've enjoyed a lot of years. We belong together.
Maybe once.
Mo, I love you.
Those are just words, Everett. I want what every woman wants. I want to be held, touched, to be swept off my feet. I want a man, a real man.
So he's talking to her, like, don't give up on me. But no, I don't even know how they lead into it. How do they lead into him alleging that he had these affairs?
She's just unhappy, you know what I mean? And he was saying something, trying to comfort her, and she's just like, who cares? I'd rather be dead than be bored or whatever, which is just completely devastating to him, because she's saying, like,
I know. I'm really mean.
And so he scrambles to salvage the relationship by
admitting to affairs.
Hey, you're looking at a real man. Yeah, a man
It drives other women crazy. Well, you don't believe me? Well, maybe you ought to check with Diana. Diana. That was her real name. Her professional name was Red Ginger, the Wham Wham Girl. Boom! I was sitting at ringside, and she tossed her tassel to me, and we both knew it was kismet. One always remembers his first mistress very fondly.
Your first? How many others?
How many times did I report seeing UFOs?
You.
Which I find completely irritating.
Irritating?
Yeah. She starts to like him after, like, that's a real man because he had allegedly had an affair.
Well, yeah, you're jumping forward to where, like, she wakes up out of the haze of everything and then all of a sudden is in love with him because he has cheated on her several times with sort of like exotic dancers or burlesque performers. I don't know.
Yeah. That, and remember, I'm not really going to look at UFOs because, like, he's super into UFOs.
Dude, I have no idea. That was so strange to me. I sat there dumbfounded watching that entire part and just could not believe what was taking place.
And then, you know, you said you have Barbi Benton's character still kind of being snotty, but slowly she's coming around.
Yeah, like when she takes off her weird, like, wet hair thing.
I think Doc gives her another lecture.
He does. He, like, really lays into her, and then it kind of, like, changes her tune. I thought she did a great job, Barbi Benton. I thought she was awesome.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
But I thought it was weird when she took that hair thing out, and it was all wet with just, like, rainwater. And then, like, all of a sudden, Doc was injured. And, like, she's dabbing one part of his cheek. And I didn't understand what...
I don't know.
Was he tired? Did like, he somehow bump his head? I didn't understand how she was comforting him. It didn't make any sense to me.
And another fascinating thing I noticed is while, like, everybody was, like, moving trees and trying to bust out of huts and there's storms, that the captain and Doc's shirts stayed tucked in. Perfectly tucked in. They're a little dirty with dirt, but they never came untucked.
Hang on. You know, at the height of sort of like the drama, you know, I would just like to point out one of the best parts of either of these two episodes. And it's something I want to include in the show in case anyone wants to take this, have this on their phone, maybe use as a ringtone possibly. But did you enjoy where Audra Lindley asked Captain Stubing to say a little prayer?
Oh, wait. Okay. Yes. Because as soon as she did that, I was like, wait a minute. Because as I believe Captain Stubing later in life or at that point was pretty religious.
Oh, was he really?
Yes, he was a very religious man. So I was thinking in my head, he's been waiting for this moment.
Oh, wow.
On the Loveboat to give the prayer. Because I almost would bet that he had this prayer already.
Well, he says, I'd love to.
Yeah.
You know, like he was
if you read his backstory, towards the end of his life, he was very, like, religious.
It was a pretty powerful prayer.
Captain Stubing, I think we'd all feel a little better. Well, would you say a little prayer for us?
Yes, I'd like to do that very much. Dear Lord, 9 of your children are very frightened on this island. But we know that you are with us and watching over us and protecting us from this storm. Life is your most precious gift. And we pray that all of us will be enjoying it when morning comes.
Perhaps we should go back to the ship for a little bit.
Yeah, because are we at the height of sort of the storm?
Yeah, we are. And the, gosh, I can't think of his name now. The
Mike Adler, I believe.
Mike Adler goes to Donna Mills' room, to check on her. And the ship's, like, rocking back and forth. And then they end up hooking up during the hurricane.
Rocking the ship a little more?
But, like, which is odd, is that he does not care about his mother during all this. Like, is she okay? What's happening?
Well, there are a lot of questions, really, about his... Oh, hang on. I think we're getting another transmission from Stacy.
The final storyline, the search, pretty decent. Did want to know why, for the love of God, did Mike never ask about the mother's name whenever he's having all the conversations with Jeannie? Just seems like a basic thing that somebody would have mentioned.
Stacy brings up a good point that I noticed too. Not once during this whole episode to this point does he ever mention his mother's name. Ever.
Well, he's fallen in love. So maybe he forgot. I don't know.
And I still find it odd that they have no interaction with each other on this cruise.
Yeah, it's really
like she's
weird.
She's off doing her own thing the entire time.
Well, up until this point, we haven't even met Vera. But finally, in the dining room, post hurricane hookup, we finally meet Vera.
Good morning. Would you like some company?
Oh, it's my mother, Jimmy the Greek. What happened? Did you clean out everyone, or did you wear out the cards?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jenny, this is my mother.
Hello. Mike's told me so much about you. Well, I haven't seen Mike for a few days, but I can understand why. How could I possibly compete with such a beautiful girl?
Well, how am I supposed to compete with a gin rummy game?
Excuse me. Here's the $10 I owe you, and do me a favor. Next time you want to play gin, deal me out. Okay, Mrs. Simpson?
Thank you, but you might win it back. Mrs. Simpson?
Oh, I didn't explain. Mike Adler is my stage name.
Vera Simpson? Yes, but...
Jenny, look.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I mean, the only thing that's been bothering her is... Well, see, Jenny grew up in an orphanage, and she hired detectives to help her track down her mother. After mother's supposed to be on the ship. You?
Do you know where she was born?
Omaha, I think.
Oh, dear Lord.
I mean, you kind of knew that's where all this was heading. But the fact that she was never around, you had to think that was her mother, his mother. But yeah. I just was like, how is this going to work out? Like, how are they going to make this not creepy at all, or not extra creepy that he's doing it with his sister?
Well, they have, I mean, shortly after that, I mean, they have one of the most, dramatic moments on this entire long episode where, as you would imagine, and this is not an uncommon thing of people, had put somebody up for adoption and
right.
how traumatic that is and what a difficult decision and all of those things. And her mother, after Donna, emotionally leaves the dining area, goes to her room, and they have this long anticipated confrontation.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to help me, Jenny. I know I can never understand everything you must be feeling, everything you must have felt. But if you're scared, you can believe me. I am too. I never saw you. Do you know that? It was one of the rules. They took you away from me while I was still asleep.
Why did you give me away?
25 years ago, a girl paid very dearly for her mistakes. There was no tolerance for people who defied the rules. They told me it would be impossible for you to have a normal, happy life if I tried to raise you by myself without a husband. There was just no chance for us together, Jenny. Why didn't you ever try to find me? I couldn't. only recently the adoption agencies opened the way for this kind of an inquiry. 10 years ago, you couldn't have found me either. When I did get married, it was my second chance. And I felt that I had to hide the fact that you'd never been born. I know it's too late for me to be your mother. But I feel very privileged to be your friend.
And her son comes in the middle of this heavy conversation that they're having about her being put up for adoption and why she couldn't find her. And then she's mortified when she realizes that she's having relationships with somebody who's possibly her brother. But as we learn, it's her stepbrother.
Why?
What is it?
I'm in love with you.
Yes, well, of course you... Jim, it's all right. I mean, look, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Mother married my father when I was 3 years old. She's my stepmother. You and I are not related at all. Yet.
The thing is, we've been waiting for this whole thing, and then they just kind of like do a little twistaroo after the whole thing. Like, hey, don't worry about it. I was adopted.
Oh, he wasn't adopted. He was adopted by her, I guess, but she married his father.
See, I'm already more confused. Wait, what? She married
Vera married, what's his name?
Stephen P. Adler.
No, the actor.
David. I like the whole last episode. You just kept calling him Birney because you couldn't remember his name.
Baxter Birney.
Birney.
Meredith Baxter's ex-husband. He says that Vera married his dad when he was 3 years old.
So he was already born?
Yeah, it's not her son in any way, shape, or form. She married the dad, and the dad already had the son. And she helped him raise him.
Oh, see, that was just thrown out there so fast that I don't even think I didn't grasp what was happening.
So in essence, I guess she could have adopted him, but she raised him because she married his father. So technically, they're not related.
Because, hang on, I'm getting yet another transmission. Because I think there's very important observation about...
Did get excited to see an actual locked door in the Loveboat episode because that is incredibly rare.
No, but that's so funny, though, because it's never happened. My guess that it's a swingers cruise and, like, they don't let you lock your door on the Loveboat.
But it is a weird thing, because I was just thinking about when she said that, about the one where the woman was blind. She walked into the thieves' room because their door wasn't locked, but they were criminals. But let's not lock our door when we're making plans. Like,
scheming to steal $1 million
all the time.
I know, it's so strange.
She couldn't be more correct.
There's got to be a morning after.
The storm is past.
That's right. The sun comes up. Palm leaves are everywhere, but everyone's alive.
Yes.
And they made it. They made it through the night. They are all in that little hut. Very, very filthy dirty, most of them. And like we were saying, the problematic couple, all of a sudden, you have a night to sleep on the fact that your husband's been cheating on you, pretending that he likes UFOs. And that's what it takes to make you fall back in love.
Everett? Everett.
Yeah.
Everett, look. Go ahead. Do you see what I see? There's a real man.
And then we find out that during the night, Barbi Benton stayed up with Gopher, dabbing his head with her kerchief. And then she had just mentioned that she had put rocks out on the beach.
Yeah, she made a big change, man. She got out there, in the what it like spells out help.
Was it help?
Yeah, something like that. She found a bunch of rocks and spelled help on the beach.
We better get that gun away from him and then signal for search parties.
Well, there's already a bunch of rocks on the beach arranged to say help.
How did they get there?
When the storm died down, I put them there.
You did? Well, while you were up and around, why didn't you take that musket away from the nut?
I did.
You did? And you gave it back to him?
Sure. There weren't any bullets in it. Just dirt.
Dirt. Dirt?
Yeah, so she's made a pretty big change. But she has now revealed to them that he never had bullets in this gun. And Captain goes out to confront him.
Mr. Crothers! Mr. Crothers! Wherever you are, you get yourself out here right now!
What a surprise! My birthday! I'd forgotten all about it!
There isn't going to be a birthday party.
Don't you know who you're dealing with here? A maniac with a gun.
Sure. A gun that has dirt bullets in it.
Stay where you are. I'm gonna get you all dirty.
As soon as we are safely back on ship, I am alerting the maritime authorities. You'll be spending the rest of your life in prison.
Oh, come on. I didn't do anything really bad, did I?
Kidnapping. Piracy.
Besides those. Look, I'll make a deal with you. No butterbrickle ice cream. Just holler surprise, sing happy birthday, and let it go at that. How about it?
Captain, what harm can it do? He did save Gopher's life.
Right, yeah.
If it hadn't been for him, Gopher's life wouldn't have needed saving. This man is a criminal.
Boy, you're a party pooper.
Just wants that darn birthday party. They all decide, okay, let's throw him a birthday party because of Mrs. Roper.
Yeah, she really was championing this birthday party.
Well, they're falling in love with each other.
Well, because we didn't even really touch upon the reason that he's on this island to begin with.
No.
Guys, he used to work at Disneyland.
Mr. Carruthers, can I ask you a question?
What's a good-looking guy like me doing in a place like this?
Well, the thought had crossed my mind.
Oh, well, it's the usual reason, a busted marriage. You know what I did after she left me? I got a job at Disneyland.
Oh.
I was Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, every afternoon I dressed up like a big egg. You know what finally got me? The mice. There was this great big one with dumb ears. He had on red pants and 2 great big buttons. You know what? The son of a gun was the star.
Oh,
yeah, can you beat that?
No.
The star. I said, if that's life, you can have it. I said, to hell with them. And the horse they rode in on. And I came right to this island.
Well, I can't say I blame you a bit. That's the most compelling reason I ever heard for becoming a hermit.
Yeah.
But, that's the thing. And she's all in. She thinks that's completely makes all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice, too, his hair changed color?
Dude, I have it written down. I have it here. It's like
his wet wig and
hermit wig change at the very end.
You got like highlights.
Grayer. Yeah, I totally noticed that. I noticed.
It was almost like a Farrah Fawcett type wig that they had found and put on him. Because obviously the other one got ruined during the rain.
Since we're doing that type of stuff, did you also notice that they sent the most out of shape older guy to save them? Like the big giant lagoon monster man is in the boat and he's rowing them and it looks like he's about to have a heart attack. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And like they have a little boat that goes to another little boat. I'm like, where do you put that other little boat? I didn't quite understand. Did you tow it behind? Because there was not enough space on the boat
I don't
for
know.
the boat.
And where's their boat that he let go?
I don't know. It was totally crazy. That part was nuts. There were a lot of inconsistencies towards the end, that's for sure. But yeah, Mrs. Roper is totally like down with this guy having his birthday. She's in complete support of that. And they start working really hard to get him gifts and stuff.
Make him a mud cake. I mean, as a kid, I would have loved to have made a mud cake, but
yeah, right.
And I like the change of tune of everybody. They're all happy except for Captain, and they're all like,
dude, Doc gave him a watch, like an expensive watch. I mean, he just lays a watch on the guy.
And somehow Gopher was carrying mustache and nose glasses somewhere in his pocket during all that.
Groucho glasses.
Yeah, somehow he had that in his pocket the whole time to give away as a gift.
But no sooner than the party has happened do they wrap it up And then Carruthers says, get out.
Well, it's been a swell birthday, but the party's over. And the quicker you get off my island, the happier I'll be.
I quite agree. I suggest we all head towards the beach. We'll try to light that fire. And if you have anything to wave, bring it in case we spot a plane. This way.
As I pointed out earlier, Audra Lindley and John Astin are falling in love with each other throughout this whole time. And he gives this, tells her this little poem.
From like John Donne or something.
Yeah, which just sells it for her.
But dude, I'm listening to this poem, very nice. I was not prepared for what came next exactly.
Oh, because then they're getting ready to leave because the overweight rescue captain comes and they're all getting on the ship to go to the other ship. So he asks, John Astin asks Audra Lindley to stay on the island with him and live with him.
And she said, like, no already, I believe.
Yeah, she said it a couple of times.
Yeah. And then she gives him one more no, I believe, and then a little something extra.
And stay with me. We'll live happily ever after.
Mr. Carruthers, there can't be any happily ever after for me.
Don't you believe in fairy tales? Kiss me on the nose. Come on. And I'll turn into a prince. Or a frog. We'll have a wonderful life together.
Dave, I'm dying.
So, wow.
Yeah, were you prepared for that?
No.
Neither was I.
So, yeah, so that I wasn't thinking was happening, and I guess it makes sense judging like how she was acting the whole cruise, but it's just like there's so many inconsistencies there.
Well, can I offer something? We don't know what happens, right?
Right.
I mean, we do in a way. We haven't said yet. I mean, we can't, right? Because what happens with her, ultimately?
She decides to stay on the island when everybody's leaving.
Captain can't believe it.
No, nobody can really believe it.
All right, Mrs. Worth. It's time to get you off this God-forsaken island.
You go on, Captain. I'm going to stay here with Dave.
Why?
That they don't know that she's dying, right?
No, I don't think any of them know. Maybe the captain is very intuitive, and he probably is sensing what.
Because, sorry to interrupt, but like she seems fine now. We don't know exactly what she's dying of. And I know she wants to spend her last days on this beautiful remote island.
Right.
In love. But what happens when she gets sicker?
I'm going to tell you something. This is what I was going to say. And I have offered this sort of thought or whatever you want to call it on one previous episode that I cannot remember what it is. I say that Audra Lindley, Mrs. Worth, survives. I say that through the power of love, and because she said this island it's like something for your soul, I think also with probably some medicinal herbs or plants that David P. Carruthers is aware of on this island.
And fresh air.
Yes, that it heals her and she lives for another 20, 30 years. That's you cannot dispute that. I say that she lived.
Or missed opportunity here. Crossover episode into Fantasy Island where it's a magical island and then she gets cured.
That's it though. She's cured. That's it.
Well, yeah, but they could have totally crossed that over into Fantasy Island.
Or a UFO lands on the island, takes her up for a bit. They heal her with some sort of probes, not the probes that we're all aware of, and then she comes right back down and
Avery Schriber gets to witness it. There's so many missed opportunities.
The bottom line is she lives for a very long time.
In my mind, I'm going to go with that scenario.
The only bad thing is, can you imagine kissing a man who's been on an island for 21 years? How do you brush your teeth? Like, you can't, what do you do? I guess if you have medicinal herbs, you probably have some sort of nice
Maybe
thing.
they rub some charcoal or something on their bones.
In the morning. So I say that it is a completely unexpected yet happy ending for those two because of the magic island, she gets healed, and that is what she needed to do. Fate lent a hand. That's why they were on that island together. And if she went back to regular Western society,
the smog of LA,
yeah, it would have gone the other way. But now she lived happily ever after.
I buy that.
Yes.
Back to the ship, though. We missed the whole reunion of Isaac and Lola Falana.
You know what we're forgetting?
What?
Is that this entire time, Isaac's supposed to be on vacation.
Right.
And his vacation has turned into the most responsibility he has maybe ever had on any of these cruises.
It's true.
And he has shown and proven himself to be the guy that I think all, you, me, and Stacy think he's awesome.
Yes, he is.
We love him. He's just kind of sad, though, in his room. He can't even, enjoy this moment because he still realizes that he had misled this person that he really did like.
Right.
And then she makes an effort. Was the door locked to his room?
That's what I'm wondering. Perhaps his door was locked and she just didn't bust in.
Either way, she makes her way to Isaac's room to apologize.
It's open. Mara.
I didn't think I'd be doing this, but I came to apologize to you.
I'm the one that should apologize. I mean, all the showing off, lying. I was a real jerk, wasn't I?
But when the chips were down, you showed what kind of man you really are. Everybody's talking about what you did last night.
Oh, I didn't do that much.
You're quite a guy, Isaac. As long as you remember to be yourself.
If I were really going to be myself, I'd take you in my arms and hold you very close.
Like I said, be yourself.
Typical of the Loveboat, everything is starting to wrap up nicely.
I love it.
On one of the weirdest episodes so far.
Absolutely.
This season, the event of both seasons.
Again, I'm going on record saying I really enjoyed this one in a whole different way, in a childhood, because I am in a constant state of immaturity, that I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it's time to say goodbye.
Start with the brother, sister, stepsister, stepmom.
Yeah, you're really you're summing it up.
Mother, how do you feel? You just picked up a daughter-in-law, and a gin rummy partner, all in one fell swoop.
How on earth am I going to word these wedding invitations?
I've got you beat. I got a mother, a mother-in-law, a stepbrother, and a husband. We're going to need a big apartment.
But as weird as that was, it was kind of a cute end with those guys.
Yeah.
Because they were super happy. And I thought the scene of the emotional sort of confession, I guess, of the mom to her was really well done.
Yes.
And takes a pretty serious topic and handled it kind of, crazy, but kind of nicely, I thought. And the fact that they were all reunited in some sort of strange way was kind of nice.
A daughter and a daughter-in-law.
It was so nuts. Donna Mills is really pretty, I thought.
She's always pretty.
Yeah, her
On
eyes are really
Landing,
beautiful.
She was really pretty too.
See, I never watched any of those shows, so I knew of the name again. So many people I don't know, but they were famous. But she was really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Kiki says goodbye.
Doc, I've had a lovely last 3 days.
Me too. Obviously, being marooned on an island has its indirect benefits. If I ever need a great nurse, I'll give you a call.
If I ever need a great friend, I'll give you a call. Bye.
The one thing that was weird, though, they never really say why she was so angry, did they? Or did they?
Well, the thing about her whatever fiance had called it off. Or something.
That's right. I forgot about that part.
I was more
But you're
confused
right.
of why she was so wealthy. Was she famous or was she
right
royalty or something like that? But yeah, she was.
She
just had been hurt and jilted, and so she was very wary of men. And she had a nice turn too. I thought she was a good actress. I thought she did a really good job. Being just a person who you might associate with just being pretty. I thought she did a pretty good job too.
I thought so too.
And another weird reveal at the end, which was kind of fun, was when the incompetent deputy captain leaves.
Ugh.
Well, he basically, his whole life is now changed because he is not suited to captain any kind of a vessel. And he tells the captain that he is going to become...
I thought I'd find a desert island and become a hermit. That's what my brother did,
Well, good luck, Mr. Cunningham.
Yep.
And that's infectious, I think, because obviously Stephen P. Slivka has done the same.
Well, doesn't he say just like my brother? So then you're left to wonder if that's his brother after all this?
Unless there's just like islands chock full of hermits. I would have to imagine.
A lot of people can identify with hermit brothers.
But it doesn't make sense because his name's Carruthers and his name's Cunningham, but maybe, who knows? I don't know.
I think it was just some weird thing they threw in there without giving it much thought.
I don't know.
Because it was strange.
Yeah. But the crescendo really of it all, for the guy who was denied a vacation, even though he wasn't mad because he reconciled with Mara, another pretty woman, was Isaac, right?
Yeah.
Because word gets back to the captain
of his heroic
deeds.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute, please. Sir? I am sorry that your vacation turned out this way.
Oh, that's all right, sir.
I heard from many sources that you were the glue that held the ship together during the crisis. I owe you a debt of gratitude.
Well, sir, when you sail with the best skipper there is, a little rubs off.
Thank you. I would also like to thank you in another way.
Sir?
A promotion.
I think that's wonderful.
In addition to your overseeing all the bars on the ship, I want you to get involved in other areas, too. There will be some stripes in your next pay envelope, Mr. Washington.
Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you.
Give me 5.
Bye-bye.
See you, Mr. Washington.
Mr. Washington, sir.
So long, Mr. Washington.
Isaac. Vacation's over. Back to work.
So I got to remember to look for his stripes on the next episode to see if he has them. So he gets a promotion, basically. He gets the lady and a promotion.
Yeah, well, he earned it.
He did.
Because he handled things really well. Because not only was he handling what to do in a really terrible situation, he was handling the difficulty of this person who outranks you and all that stuff. And he did it.
He's a total idiot.
Yeah, but he did it kind of masterfully, and that was really kind of cool.
Passive-aggressively, and it worked out pretty good. But one thing, too, we forgot to point out is the other couple.
Who?
Edie Adams and...
Oh, God, yeah, that's right.
Like, they are together. Did you notice how he got her to carry all the luggage?
Yeah, things really changed.
She really took a turn on that island.
I think she got hit with a coconut in the head or something like that.
A palm tree fell on her, too.
Yeah, because she really went from being, like, completely depressed and despondent to, like, I don't know. That was wild.
It was weird.
Yeah, but then he reveals that the strippers may have been a lie, but not them UFOs.
Correct.
And that's about it, you guys. I'd be curious to get everybody's take if they, thumbs up, thumbs down on this episode. Obviously very different, very strange. We were kind of like surprised by how they started this second season off, really.
They started off crazy and wild.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what the rest of the season is going to bring us.
Well, I know for one, my main man, Billy Barty's on the way. I hope that Stephen P. Slivka travels back from whatever island he's on and makes it back for episode, I think it's 15, where his ex-wife, Martha Ray, will be a guest star. And we have tons more awesome people coming up down the line. Now, we want to thank Stacy so much for her takes on this episode.
Yeah, it's nice to have some validation to hear somebody that thinks the same way you do.
Oh my gosh, when I was listening to her, I'm like, you guys are on exactly the same page with one another. It was kind of cool. Yeah, and we just want to thank her for listening to the show and thank everybody for listening. And to that point, if you guys listen via Spotify, and what they allow you to do is sometimes add polls and questions, and I sometimes really enjoy that. So if you are listening via Spotify, look for the little Easter egg questions that I'm leaving in the description sometimes. And I just kind of wanted to point out one that we got. Most of the ones, my last question was, if you were stranded on an island, what would you do to seduce a hermit? But I did pose a serious question, just asking if people were going to follow us into season 2. And we got a response from someone named Joe that really was really genuine, really nice, and really exactly along the lines of why Michelle and I started this podcast. And I just kind of wanted to read the response really quickly. So again, the question was, will you follow us into season 2? And the answer was absolutely. I love the nostalgia, love the show. I was 11 in 1977. Loveboat at 9 p.m. and Fantasy Island at 10 if I didn't fall asleep. SNL at 11:30. Keep up the good work. And that really mirrors our experience, doesn't it? I mean, it's exactly what we said, that we looked forward to this. You got to stay up a little bit later, and you got to see a show that was like kind of for you in some ways. Like I was saying, this episode for me, to where you could have fun with it, and it kind of scared you a little bit sometimes, more Fantasy Island than the Loveboat. And it was just a really unique experience. So to see somebody else saying the same thing is really, really nice.
It's totally like in your age, because that's about the age that we were when we started watching the Loveboat.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and it's just that shared experience really is so unique and so fun. And again, it's a huge part of why we wanted to do this show, just to kind of relive that and then see it through our eyes now. So it's just nice to know that you guys are listening. Be on the lookout for those little Easter egg questions if you are a Spotify listener. And I just wanted to mention too, for all of this love, the outpouring of love for Mr. Ted Lange for Isaac. If you haven't, just in case, we have said it a bunch of times, check out our Instagram, look through the reels, and you will see my incredible birthday message from the man himself. And he also gave recipes for a drink called the Isaac, which we have had on the show several times. That is absolutely worth a watch. So make sure that you're following via Instagram as well, and check out the message from Isaac.
Yeah, it's really cool, and he's so nice.
He's the best. He's exactly what you would hope, and it's just, it's kind of incredible. So again, thanks you guys for being here for the first double episode of season 2. We hope to see you all here for episode number, now I'm confused again. Is it 2? Is it 3?
I don't know. The different streaming services have it listed different ways, so.
Yeah, just for the next show, get a Planner's Punch, make an Isaac.
That's right. We got to start making more of the drinks that they're making on these episodes.
Yeah, maybe we should do Planner's Punch, or is that one really hard?
No, they're all easy.
Okay, maybe, guys, Planner's Punch next time. Let's do Planner's Punch. So if anyone's making drinks at home, Planner's Punch for the next episode. But until then, I am Ishvan.
I'm Michelle.
Captain Stubing, please come to the bridge.
And we are
Lovin' the Loveboat.
Come to my room in half an hour and bring some rye bread.
Hi guys, it's me Ishvan, host of Lovin' the Loveboat. And before you go, I wanted to invite you to check out my other show, Ishvan's Imaginary Podcast. Yes, it is a kids and family show, but I think it's a show anyone can enjoy. Here, take a peek.
Dialing now.
Okay, remember, don't get nervous.
Hello, this is Lewis speaking.
Hello.
Say the rest.
Is your refrigerator running?
Excuse me?
Well, why don't you go catch it?
No, he didn't say it. Oh, you did it wrong. Okay, just go to the next one.
May I speak with John, please?
John, there is no John at this residence.
Then how do you go to the bathroom?
Toby, is this you? Well, it's hang up the phone.
That was awesome! Colorful characters, award-winning music, and humor and content in a capital G-rated glory that can take on any other podcast out there. So whether it's with your kids, nieces and nephews, grandchildren, or just you and your inner child, Ishvan's Imaginary Podcast is available everywhere podcasts are found to make you all smile and sing along. Check it out today.